Okay, I'm going to do a reaction video on my Frosted Skin Flakes video. I have not watched this video since I started editing it back in the day. And so this will be a nice little trip down memory lane with the rest of you. All right, so here we go. Man, just seeing this just brings me way back. I don't remember this specific time when I did this. But I mean, just like seeing that red inflamed skin down below and just kind of cleaning off this whole area, that brings me way back. I remember how it feels. You know, people would always talk about, you know, oh, don't cut yourself with that knife. Or, you know, somebody would flag my video for it being a dangerous thing that I'm doing. And, you know, sure, to the untrained eye, or the untrained person using a knife like this, sure, it could be dangerous, but honestly, this was therapy for me. I did this to help ease my mental stress. And the knife wasn't sharp at all. I mean, you couldn't cut butter with it. Okay, you could cut butter with it, right? But you couldn't cut a piece of paper. What I would mostly try to do with this knife is, I'm not cutting, I'm not slicing. I'm going up underneath the scales and lifting them up, using it as a little pry tool, basically. Man, I mean, look how clean that area got already. So, as you see there, I'm kind of searching for the big pieces that I could try to get off in one big piece. Can't always do that because sometimes the skin didn't loosen up enough from the stuff underneath it. So you kind of, you know, get it coming off in chunks like that. And I don't care how slow you go, how careful you go with it, you're not always going to get a big giant piece off. Now, my legs didn't always look like this, you know, especially with the skin caked on like that. You know, there would be some flakes on occasion, but mostly it would look like a hard crust on my skin. You know, most of these videos that you guys have watched of mine, that's after I pre-treated everything, usually using, you know, medication, ointments, or even just Vaseline, right? Or just taking a shower beforehand. Sometimes it would look like this. And I think, you know, having the moisture combined with the dead skin, and then of course motion, movement, expansion of my body, it would cause the scales to loosen up like this. See a little bit of blood there. The blood wasn't because I cut myself, right? If I cut myself, you'd see a slice somewhere. That was because that blood is because, you know, the dead skin was still attached to some of the live skin on the epidermis of my healthy skin that was still getting blood supplied to, and it would bleed. It would basically rip it up and bleed. Same thing with your, you know, your nail cuticles, whatever. Whenever you get a little hanging cuticle thing, you pull it off, boom, you start bleeding a little bit there. Same concept here. Stubborn one. That one does not want to come off. It's too stuck. I mean, looking at this, I can recognize all the pieces that are going to come off. Well, Usually it's always the center part though, right? The center part of each of the little island of flakes. The center part is usually the one that won't come up because, hey, I mean, with everything else, like everything else, the edges will always come up first. So each individual flake, those will loosen at the edges first. Now this one right here that I'm working on, that's particularly thick. I can already just see it. Pulling that up might cause some bleeding. Okay, so I give up on it. Maybe I'll go back to it. We'll see. Hopefully. Back in these days, I would try to avoid blood as much as I could because the YouTube AI, whatever algorithm, would find it and flag it and cause issues with the video, whether not allowing it to be displayed at all, or it would give me some sort of a community flag, because they would depict it as self-harm, you know. And as I was saying before, this isn't self-harm. Okay, I'm not doing this to hurt myself. I'm doing this as a therapy for myself, right? To feel better, health-wise, skin-wise. My skin would feel boatloads better after I got rid of this stuff. But mentally, you know, it helped to scratch that mental itch, you know, that OCD itch of getting rid of it, you know. I think we as humans, we don't like to see things that are out of place. And a skin flake is as out of place as you get, right? So we pick and peel at it to get rid of it so that we can feel better. That's probably why you guys watch my videos too, because you share that with me. Oh, there's that stubborn part. So you see I was just scraping there? So that little scrape part, that back of my calf, lower part of my calf, that is the stubborn psoriasis. And the reason why I call it stubborn is because it would never flake up and peel like the other ones. It's basically just like rubbing it up against, you know, a hard rock at this point. And I would scrape it and get kind of little dust particles, skin particles all over the place. You know, I think that part back there, you know, on the back of my calf, it never really peeled up because that part of my leg, you know, was below the majority of my calf muscle. So it would never, you know, have much opportunity to flex or expand, you know, depending on how my muscles are going, because it's mostly just tendons in that lower part, as I think. And so it would never really have my body, you know, loosening it up for me, even if I got it wet or did all the other stuff. Going in with the fingers. That one's completely loose. Yeah, it just popped right off. Now I'm just kind of probing around here, trying to find the edges. So, okay, so let's stop right there. So you see these flakes, right? That outer edge, it's come up. But this darker part right here, that part, those parts were always super stuck, right? You'll notice this one up here, most of the edges have already come up. And then there's a little dark spot here and right here. This one over here, mostly dark spot around here. So those dark spots were the parts that were still anchored down to everything down below it. I don't think I'll be able to get these ones off completely. If I do, then there's definitely going to be some bleeding. See, just probing with the knife, seeing what I can pick up and lift and seeing what gives. Ah, there we go, that's a decent spot. I don't think I'm going to be able to go much deeper than that, though. See how I'm pressing in there, trying to get underneath and wedge the knife in? There we go. Oh, no. Yeah, I got a good chunk of it. Hit it from a different angle. Oh, yep, I can see it. We're going to start bleeding here. You see that? I'm not even slicing, I'm lifting. Cut away so YouTube doesn't ban me. Of course. Oh man. You know, I mean, sometimes I miss doing this, but you know, at the same time, it was so cumbersome to deal with, right? Like, I would have to do this every few days. And this was just one leg. And this one leg, I mean, this video is about 17 minutes long. It took me at least 15 minutes to do this leg. And that's at a brisk pace, too, you know? Sometimes I would do it while sitting there watching a movie. I would pick and peel and scratch, and my wife would yell at me. I can already feel myself, you know, after 8 minutes of doing this, I think 8 minutes, yeah, about 8 minutes, 9 minutes doing this, you know, I can feel myself kind of getting tired of it, because you're sitting in awkward positions. You know, you've got to bend over and do this and make sure the camera's going. I was getting tired of filming already at this point in time, I'm sure. Try and find a good spot. Getting some nice lift off of those. You notice I'm kind of starting to skip over the dark areas mostly, because I always knew that those darker spots I would have to either spend more time on, or I would start bleeding after I pulled those up. Yeah, you can always tell I'm getting fed up with doing this when I'm speeding up and just kind of going at it. And you notice, like, I always use different angles, you know, either come from the top, left side, right side, or the lower side. And that's because you never know which side it's actually going to come up on. Hold up. Is anybody's is anybody else's mouth watering right now? That just like hits something with me. That when I see that, I'm like, what do they call that thing? Tryptophobia or something like that? Kind of just makes your skin crawl a little bit, but it kind of feels like, I don't. It kind of gives me a sense of satisfaction to know that that's going to be pulled off. Man, that's good. That looks good, even though it's terrible. I remember sitting like this, though. You know, I would sit in my desk chair, I'd cock my leg backwards behind me, and then I would scrape. And it wasn't comfortable at all, because I'd have to twist my body around, too, to kind of get my knife into positions. and it's not the best way to go about it. So I'm obviously moving pretty quickly here to pull this stuff off. Just large sweeping movements. You know, and whenever I'd sweep like that, I'm pressing fairly lightly, and then whenever it would catch on something, that's when I would go back and try to pull those ones up usually. Man, you see that skin pile that it just ripped up? That's a good one. Oh man, so satisfying. So satisfying, but I would never wish to really go back and do this. Ooh, look at that piece. Get it. Nice one. Yeah, so satisfying that I mean, but like I said, I'd never want to go back to this. It was way more trouble than it was worth. But you know, it's like scratching that itch, that never-ending itch that's never-endingly satisfying. That constant dopamine hit, that serotonin hit, whatever they call it. You know, that was so satisfying on a physical level that that you know it was nice to have that at least as a relief valve for the fact that I had to walk around my daily life like this. I mean, yeah, look at that skin pile down here. It's already just building up. That's crazy. And to think, this is one shin, one calf in this video, and it took me what 15 minutes now. 15 minutes. We're almost done. 15 minutes to do this leg. Now to do the rest of my body, you know, anything that I didn't film, I would do it relatively quickly. I would usually do it in the shower. I would do it. You know, in more comfortable positions and get it done fast. But having to do this every, you know, 3 to 4 days. Oop, look at that. That's the skin pile. Having to do this every 3 to 4 days. Oh, that would really, I mean, it sucked. It sucked. But look at that skin. That's all the skin. I remember dumping this onto the floor, and then people were like, "Oh my God, the carpet! Oh my God, the carpet!" This is an old ass carpet, anyways, and the vacuum cleaner did a pretty good job. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine this amount of skin from just one leg multiplied by the rest of my body, all over the place in my house, without you know, without any centralized area, right? This would be everywhere. And I would constantly vacuum it, and it was just gross. Okay, it was gross. And it happened whether or not I liked it to or not. I would always flake everywhere, and it sucked. So anyways, that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you for joining me on this path down memory lane. If you want me to react to anything specific, please, you know, let me know in the comments. I can react to my old videos. I'm totally cool with that. I can react to, you know, other people's videos, commentary, you know, do some chit chats, whatever. But I'm always looking for ideas. So hit me up down below in the comment section, and I will see you later.